the end of a long driveway is a gracious building that was once occupied by a generous Italian wine lord and the many members of his family. In such buildings, often locked up under a lock and key, one can unravel many of the mysteries of the people who once resided here centuries ago. But sometimes the entrance seems more complicated than it truly is, and the door is just open. Curious explorers as we are, we venture our way inside and look for the family relics that still roam around in this impressive building today. Good morning everyone. It's another day in the beautiful country of Italy, and I've just made my way to the next destination. You can see it right behind me. It's actually a huge mansion, and this mansion has nearly been abandoned for 8 years now. Currently it looks like somebody's trying to save it. Some rooms have been emptied out, as others are still completely furnished. Very excited to show you this wonderful place. Is actually located on top of a hill, and we had to make a pretty big hike, but we've made it. I can't wait to explore and share with you, so enjoy watching this video. So to tell you a little bit about the story before we enter, it was actually a pretty large family living here, and they had a wine business. Here on the left they had a huge shed, but it's completely collapsed. And in this shed it was actually also used for the wine production. But of course we are also gonna find a big wine cellar. So yeah, this is literally like a room. Look at it. It's a complete ruin. And then you can clearly tell all the years of abandonment. Also over here at the banisters of the balcony, they are completely reclaimed by roots. Oh look, this was like an inner courtyard. This is so cozy. Imagine sitting here in the morning, drinking your morning coffee or tea. Over here they also had a little lake. Now you can tell by the palm trees that we are in Italy right now. Alright, let's try to go and search for the entrance. I'm really looking forward to actually see how it looks from the inside. I've only seen a few pictures, but furthermore I don't have much information about it. So also for me it's gonna be a big surprise. It looks like they are still working in the garden. Wow, almost looks like a fortified building. Everything's built with the stones. There's a little shed part over here. Oh look, old stone oven. What a place. It seems that it also counts many floors. I think over here used to be a water pump. You can still see the pipes and everything. Oh, there is also a chapel. Have a look over there on the roof. There's a crucifix. Such a beautiful landscape we're in today. Again. Wow. Look at the ivy over here. Actually very, very beautiful. Well, and this is the back side of the property. I feel so bad because my remote control of my drone actually is crashed. It doesn't work anymore. I love to capture places like this from an aerial perspective to give you a real overview of where it's located. But unfortunately at the moment I can't. So that's why I just make a tour around the property to be able to show it to you in the best perspective. Look, all the eucalyptus plants here. Alright, time to enter the mansion now. Doors just straight open. There we are. What's this? I think they use this as a basement part or something. An antique here, a lamp, but furthermore it's nothing. Oh wow, look at this. I think this was one of the main entrances maybe. Looks like a big door over there. This was a bedroom. And look to the wooden ceiling panels. Very ordinary room actually. Oh, and there are some old photos. Well, old. They look quite recent. Oh, look over here. All the women sitting in the garden of the property. A lot of books here. Really like the curtains. And there is a lot of Italian proverbs on the walls. It's about democracy, communism, socialism. I think mostly a political statement. Oh, look over here. This looks very traditional. Looks like it was part of a shed. And over here we can see the course of their wining business. Also a bottle. I'm really curious for the wine cellar. Oh, look over here. Brilliant. You can see so many things that were enough evidence that they had a wine business. And this was a big Italian wine family. Over here a tiny toilet. Oh my gosh. Yes, there it is, we found it. This is the wine cellar. And have a look at the size of these barrels. That barrel was mainly used to press all the grapes. And those ones were for storage. Oh, and it's even continuing over there. Wow. Yep, this was certainly a wine family. Look at these containers over here. They are really massive. All was made out of iron in the inside. In contrast with all the other wooden barrels. And then these bottles, they are always used to store the wine in for a temporary amount of time. So these ones are for long storage and these are just short storage. But hey, this is absolutely amazing. They even needed stairs because of course it's high. To put all the wine inside, the grapes. Over here you can still also see that they needed to count something, so they just striped everything. Also notice over here, these massive steel doors with the pattern on them. Haven't been opened for almost a decade. Over here is a tiny sink and it's also going down on the left. Again, one level down, let's check it out. Oh, this is, Yet another basement. I see even more wine barrels over there. It's not finished yet, I guess. Oh, there's a bed. Well, this is a dead end. I'm not gonna disturb the bed either. But I think there will definitely be more beds here. So I'm prepared for the worst. Wow. Look at this. It's not ended yet. Yet more wine barrels to find. They produced a lot of wine if they needed that many barrels to store everything. Wow. Look at the arcs actually on the ceiling. And over here, all the bottles of wine. These wine families in Italy, they were very often in general very big and very wealthy families. And most of the times the first people started in the 18th, beginning 19th century. And in the end there was no inheritance, or the children wanted to study, do something else with their life. And that's very often how these properties in Italy and also in Portugal end up being abandoned. But you could tell the size of the property, and it's massive. It shows off that these people had a lot of wealth. Wow, look over here. I think this was a storage for their selves. This is wine from 1989. It's saying over here. Still also some vegetables. This wine is from 1993. At least the wine which used to stand there. Some confiture. I think they also maybe sold this and maybe made it on the lands and the fields around this. So they were also involved in agriculture. Oh, and there's some bottles of wines again. I just made my way to the other part on the ground floor. Over here was a shed. There's still a lot of wood here. Yeah, just some tools. I also think mainly for maintaining their garden. Because the garden is also enormous. Alright, time to walk upstairs. And somehow to me this looks very modern. I think it's been renovated. Not recently, of course, but maybe 10, 20 years ago. Because I think the original property is way older. Well, obviously this was their kitchen. I think there also used to be a dining table here. The people were very religious too. Of course, they had a private church here. I really hope the church is open, but haven't checked it out yet. Still there are plates here. Let's see what's inside of here. Oh wow. Also, it's entirely filled. Well, of course, what you would expect, just some kitchen products. Some spices there in the corner too. Some choco pasta. A lot of keys are still hanging up. And it looks like those were definitely the first keys of the property when it was ever built. These massive rusty keys. Wow, all the pots and pans still pristinely where they were originally left behind. Oh, and then over here we can actually see the owner in a suit. Definitely looks like a happy and also a wealthy man. The outside of the property back in the days, and he's sitting on a sofa. Again, a religious artifact there. This might have been his woman, maybe his mother. Side of here, some cute china. I think this is holding cutlery. Yeah, well, at least a butcher's knife. Of course, we're in Italy. Some spaghetti. Can't miss. It might sound stereotypical, but if you've been in Italy one time before, you know what I'm talking about. The bakeries literally only have pizza, 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 pizza. In the supermarket, pastas and spaghetti. Risotto, also a very famous Italian dish. But enough about food. I'm pretty hungry because it's morning. I still didn't have breakfast because I wanted to film this place. And afterwards in the camper, I can have some breakfast. So let's continue. Well, some more products in these shelves, also some medicine. I really think the reason why the property is abandoned is because the latest resident died of old age. Because I've seen the staircase and it also had like a wheelchair lift. And I think that's definitely because of elderliness. Wow. Look at this, it might be empty, but you can still see the beauty in it, of how it used to be. Oh, wait a second. This is not empty. Wow. Yeah, you can clearly see the beauty in it now. This is such a homely place. Over here, the rocking chair. There are some beautiful memories. I think in his younger days the man used to be in the war when they were still complied to do it. When he was younger in a park. And this must have been him as a child. An African statue. And then we have the fireplace over here with another religious quote. This could have been a family ancestor, or maybe the father of the man. Let's see, I don't see a year, so yeah, it's quite hard to conclude who this man exactly was. Over here, they even used to have their balcony. And just waking up and overviewing the beautiful countryside. I think the people definitely lived a happy life here. I can still feel a little bit of the positive energy and the memories which have been made inside. However, it's strange how some furniture has been removed, and I think definitely by the owner, but things like this are just pristinely left like it was one day. God bless our mortgaged home. Be it ever so humble, there is no place like home yet. You see, I was already saying it feels so comfortable, but this home, these people, I think they love to spend their time in their home, and they also spend a lot of time here. It clearly shows off. I'm wondering where this exactly is, because this is not the property we're in now. That's strange. However, all over here, some Asian symbols on it. People maybe also used to travel a lot, maybe when they were retired. Well, the living room was a surprise because when you see it from this perspective, you just think it's empty. Only the curtains are left and the lamp there. Well, time to enter the next room. If it opens at least. Nope, this one is closed. This was the wheelchair lift I was talking about. Oh, this was a bathroom. Another empty room. Yeah, just very ordinary. This looks strange to me. We are on the first floor right now, but this looks like a shed. I think it is. Another one that is locked. Oh no, it's not locked. Oh, it's very smelly inside of here. There are still some peppers in the jar. Fridge, but the smell is awful here. I'm going out. Okay. Look at this. This is indeed like a shed part, all built out of wood. Some stone floors. There's even still some onions left to dry. It's empty. Ah, look over here. Clothes wipers. Let's see in the newspaper. Okay, that's very strange. Because this newspaper is from 2014, the 15th of February. But I think somebody's definitely still regularly coming here just to check if everything's fine. Maybe take some stuff here and there. And I think in 1 year or maybe a few years, the property will be emptied out and hopefully bought by someone else who is willing to invest in it and restore it back to its former glory. What's the bag doing here? Well, I really like these ones because they are actually made out of wood. And I've never seen anything like that. And then you could pull the rope like that and it would open and close again. Whoa. There's again some barrels here. They were maybe used for transport in a truck. Okay, only some spiders, and they put concrete underneath it. Well, then it's time to go yet another level up. I really want to see how the view is like from here. But unfortunately the shutters are almost blocking it. But you see, it's already very beautiful. Oh, and there is even an attic over here. But let's save that for later. Wow, look at the paint on the walls already. Italians, they don't often use wallpaper, but they really always like to paint their ceilings, paint their walls, in contrast with the French, because they always use a lot of wallpaper, and when the buildings are left to decay, it always gets very moldy. So many books over here. Looks like this mirror was part of a cabinet. And again, some curtains. I was wondering what this actually was used for. Probably to hang something up, but was it for an exact item? If anybody knows it, then leave it down in the comment section, because I would love to learn more about it. Oh, there is a single sewing machine here, and yet another sewing machine right next to it. This one is beautiful. Look at the colorful ornaments. Wow. And again, the same man. Maybe this was the first person in the family tree to start a wine business. Okay, well, this is very, very heavy. The sewing machine is inside, but they've locked it here on the side, so I can't open it, unfortunately. And then this used to be one of those hidden doors. They just continued with painting. Wow. It's yet another kitchen. This must have been some other family ancestors. And just a tiny storage with a toilet. From this perspective, the view is already getting better. Well, I can dream about the view each and every minute, but let's show you the other rooms now. This was a bedroom. Oh, still there are clothes inside as well. This fur jacket. Just a plain iron bed. And again, the same picture comes back of this man. Also religious picture over here. Oh wow, this was yet another bedroom. And have a look at the blue colors and especially the ceiling. Wow, that's very beautiful. This is so Italian. Well, I really like how they've placed a mirror on top of this simple cabinet. And now it actually looks way more special. But again, notice that on the side there is one of those hangers again. Empty. Oh, I really like this box. It's like a memory box. And it's full of old pictures. The man with the mustache. I think this was on the outside wall. A woman with her daughter and two dogs. A girl doing her Holy Communion. A grumpy grandmother maybe. Elderly lady at least. Oh, a family ancestor for sure. Where did these people go? And then let's check out the wardrobes. Over here only some old newspapers. That one is from 1976. The Italian wooden beds. And look over here, it's literally like a time capsule. All clothes are still hanging where they were once left. Okay, time to continue. Look over here, another bedroom, but it's quite simple. Doesn't have much elegance or majesty. These people just had a very homely interior, but not something very majestic, at least so far. Oh, look over there on the hangers. There are still a lot of bags. Probably from the woman. Yeah, it's just empty. And this one? Oh, it's almost fallen out. Let's just leave it like that. Okay, so let's enter the next rooms. Wow, I like the yellowish style of this room, and look actually to the ceiling. Very well detailed. There were some walking canes over here. So I think it was definitely an elderly person, which was the last resident. This was a part of a washing table. Some bottles of liquor in the corner there. And then over here, There's a huge corridor. Many rooms on the right and the left. Oh, again, many bags, some hats, and look. We found this before in Italy, and women used to wear these animals actually as scarves in a certain time era. Looks like this was in Egypt. I guess these people just love to go on holidays and just explore the world, like I'm also doing, and just documenting the history of the forgotten, about what's left after life. Well, right next door there is another room, and it seems that this one is very elegant. Look at the carpet, and wow, not only the piano here, but have a look at the ceiling. My gosh, wow, some beautiful Italian artwork. And also the curtains. This is so much more majestic compared to the other rooms we've seen. However, I find it strange how most furniture is taken out. Because I definitely do think that this might have been another bedroom with the little lights here. Then a bed maybe right over here or something. Wow, look at the piano. I think those were ivory keys and they've just fallen off. It's not working anymore at all. 𝗦𝘁cie𝗿𝘆𝗶𝘆𝗍. Wow. Look at this chair. That's so unique. I've never seen anything like that. Oh, and this is the most recent picture. This was at the balcony, or yeah, this was the balcony. It was an elderly woman. So I think this was definitely the last resident who lived there. Some fake flowers. And then here in the corner they had a little fireplace to keep this room nice and warm. And I think this is absolutely fascinating. So the favorite place for the woman, I think it was the balcony. We can see her standing over here, back in her younger days. And right now I will go back to the other picture I showed you. It's exactly the same woman in the same position in her older days. Look. Wow. Well, that must have been her favorite place inside of their home. Alright, let's continue following the corridor. And let's see. Oh, this was actually a bathroom. Yeah, just normal. And still all their bathing products again left behind. Oh, wait a second. Look at that room over there. I can capture a quick glimpse, but it looks magnificent. Whoa! Oh my gosh! Look at it. This is absolutely mesmerizing. What a beauty. Wow. The bed over here with the curtains. The old portrait over there too. Wow. Well, this is really majestic. A vanity over here. And again, the same photo of the man comes back. It seems that he was the most important person about this property in the complete family tree. There's a box. A lot of paperwork inside. My gosh, this was absolutely a surprise. I was not expecting this. There's even a bust over here on the table. And then look at the portrait from a closer perspective. Unfortunately, yet there is no year again on this portrait. That absolutely surprised me. It was so beautiful. And then again, look at this ceiling over here. It seemed that this floor is definitely the oldest one of all. There are so many heads over here. Look at it. And then the last room on this floor again has beautiful curtains. And also, wow, what a marvelous ceiling. It's so Italian. I don't know what else to say. Paintings. The Italian, they knew how to paint a wonderful ceiling. The angels on top. And again, I love these curtains over here. Well, I think it's time to go to the final floor, the attic. And then I think I covered it all and I showed you this Italian wine family mansion. Absolutely unbelievable, this place. I was not expecting this. It turned out to be way better than I thought. So let's go. Even one other stair. Wow. Okay. Well, where it's not much left. Oh, and here again, more barrels. And it still smells like wine in here. 2014, 2015 even. The last date, and over here you can see some drips of red wine, and I think it's still inside of these barrels. Because there's a strong wine sense in this room. Some containers over here too. I think it's a strange place to have a part of your production in the attic of your mansion, but maybe it was normal. What is this? I think this is a very, very, very old bathtub. Look at this antique television. That's a properly old one. Over there, the washing table too. Oh, and this is another very old bathtub. Wow. There are so many antique things here on the attic. I'm so happy I checked it out. Oh, I checked it out. I pushed my head on top of there, and I'm wearing my capuchon because there might be bats over here and they can get in your hair. Oh, that was quite clumsy. I need to watch the ceiling over here in this part. Oh. Yeah, well, I think that was it. So made my way outside to the church. Quickly want to check if this one is open. Otherwise, I think it's time to leave. No, it's fully closed, but wow, it looks very beautiful from the inside. Is there really no access point? Nope. Over here also there's nothing. Well, in that case, I think it's just time to go. And what an adventure this was again. Such a huge mansion on top of a hill. And look at the lane over here. This was the front lane one day. The main road where they drove up with their car. All the trees. So goodbye. So time to walk back to my friends. They're waiting in the camper. They only make photos, so they don't need that much time to actually finish their thing they want to do. Of course, if you want to make a proper video or documentary on a place, you will need a lot more time. But I managed to do it, and I really hoped you guys enjoyed it once again here in Italy. This is just the start. There's amazing places about to follow, so stay tuned for that. I want to thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, please hit the like button. You can subscribe to our channel down below and also leave a nice comment down below. And then I want to send you much love and blessings from Italy, and we will see you on our next adventure. Peace out.